Okay, so if you are here, you might have seen my TikTok where I'm just going to show a short clip.
What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. You can never force nobody else to win.
So I got a lot of comments on that TikTok asking me how to navigate this human experience with the glasses on, the metaphorical glasses. Glasses being the veil being lifted and being on this spiritual journey. A lot of people have said it's really isolating. It feels like such a burden at times. And that's true. It can be very isolating. It can feel like a burden. I've seen in the comments it's a blessing and a curse. But it is a gift. It really is a gift. And if you think about it, would you really want to go back to not knowing what you know or being in the dark? So I'm going to give a little bit of advice on what you can do if you are just now starting out in your spiritual journey, or you're just in a really funky headspace and you wish you could take off the metaphorical glasses. So the first thing I would recommend, there are a lot of YouTube channels and a lot of other creators that have helped me personally. I am going to list them right here. And they have, Feelgood has a YouTube and an Instagram and a TikTok. I mostly personally watch his content on Instagram and YouTube. And Lori Ladd, same thing. They're both on TikTok as well. But I really enjoy their Instagram and their YouTube because there's a lot of room, like you can engage with them on there. They do a lot of lives on Instagram and YouTube. So I would check them out. Also, another thing would be books. So I have some books that if you have not read these and you are in the start of your spiritual journey, or just if you haven't read them and you are on the journey, these could be really helpful for you. So the Four Agreements is always one that I recommend first to anyone who is either at the start of their spiritual journey or just in a rut. And I even like to read this book I've read it multiple times. I think it's a good book to come back to like once every 3 to 6 months. And then it's by Don Miguel Ruiz, and he also has the Fifth Agreement. And then there's the 7 Planes of Existence, and I will put all these in the description caption below. And then the Alchemist, Women Who Run with the Wolves, and the Empaths Survival Guide. I think these are all really helpful. And I'm going to put a few more here that are helpful as well. I couldn't find them in the middle of moving things around in my house, so they're probably in a box somewhere. But yeah, those books are really helpful. Also Gaia.com. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but I found Gaia.com. It's a streaming platform, kind of like Netflix, but think of it like a streaming platform for spiritual folks and also people who are interested in learning about aliens, you know, the universe, just healing. There's so many great things on that platform. I would look on YouTube for Joe Dispenza, and he also actually has a series on Gaia called Rewired, which is really good. And then Dolores Cannon, Abraham Hicks, Alan Watts. If you look on YouTube, there's so many audios of them. Ram Dass. And yeah, I would just say, honestly, like, for me, those are all the people I have found that have helped me on my journey so far. Another thing I would say is there's going to be periods of isolation for sure. Like throughout your entire spiritual journey. Like there's the one in the beginning is always the roughest. It's like the biggest tower moment. I think there can be multiple huge tower moments though. If you're feeling really isolated and you came from my TikTok, like just look at that video alone and all the people commenting saying that they felt the same way as what this original comment said that I was responding to. So maybe start following each other, you know, like my page for the most part, everyone who I follow and most of the people who follow me were in a very similar boat. And it doesn't mean you have to like cut off people like at all. It does not mean cut off people who are not wearing the metaphorical glasses, who have not seen through the veil. It is going to be frustrating at times because you wish that they could see and understand what you see and understand, but remember that you were in that position once as well, and you know that the only way to wake up is yourself. Like no one can force you to do it. But if you're noticing that you have friends or family members that are like, you know, you just feel drained when you're around them, either start setting boundaries, either like internally or like and verbally to them, expressing your boundaries. Also, keep in mind, like everywhere you put your energy, whatever you feed into is what you're going to grow and what you're going to get back. So if you're hanging out with people all the time who are gossiping, just, you know, like you don't feel good after you hang out with them, it's either time to set the boundaries, and if they don't listen, then maybe reevaluate the friendships or relationships, even if it's family members. I've had to cut off family members before. I am now in contact with most of them again that I did cut off, but there was a period of time where for my own mental and spiritual health, I had to cut them off. And that was after multiple times of trying to set the boundaries. And remember too that if you want and you have the sovereignty to believe and know what you know, so do they. And they're on a different path than you are. They're on a different journey. So it will feel isolating at times, and there will be times where in the journey where all of your friends could be cut out of your life, all of your family, but that's because the universe is bringing in the people who are energetically aligned with you and where you want to be. So some of the toughest moments that we have are always the start of something beautiful. And it doesn't feel that way all the time, but you're not alone. There's so many of us going through this. And yeah, like I said, I would just start really go inward, connect with yourself, meditation, go outside, go into nature without distractions. Try to not bring your phone, you know, every time you go on a hike or on a walk, so that you can really just get re-energized and like cleanse your spirit and get the messages that Mother Nature and the universe is potentially and probably trying to show you, because they're everywhere if you are open to receiving them. And be mindful as well, not just of where you divert, like where you divert your attention, but also, you know, are you distracting yourself a lot? What are you watching? What are you doing on your phone? What do you spend most of your time doing? And are doing those things, are they in alignment with where you want to be? If not, maybe it's time to take a step back and really think about if that is a healthy thing for you to engage in. And I do believe, you know, I watch TV. I use nicotine products and cannabis. So I don't think that, I think that as in moderation, things, you know, too much of anything can turn into an addiction or something that negatively impacts our energy and our vibration. So just be mindful of, again, not only just what you're eating, but who you're around, what you are spending a lot of your time doing. For me, I noticed if there was a lot of healing I needed to do, because that's what most of this journey is about, is healing. And healing is not linear. And the more you heal, the more layers of the onion unfold, and there's, you know, other traumas that will come up that you might have forgotten about. And just remember, it's not a race. Do it at your own pace. Oh, that rhymed. It's not a race. Do it at your own pace and whatever feels comfortable for you. And if some days that means, you know, laying in bed and resting, do that. Like, your body's asking you to rest for a reason. And usually in those periods of rest and like massive hermit mode are getting us prepared for the next step in our journey. I'm trying to think of what else I said in my other video that TikTok kept deleting. I want to remind people this. The healing journey, when we see it a lot on like TikTok or Instagram, it's a lot of times portrayed as just like this blissful, happy, joyful experience, which it is those things. It is. But there is always balance with everything. The shadow side is going to come up. That is when things can be really hard, when our ego is fighting with us, trying to tell us we're crazy, or doubting in our intuition, doubting ourselves, shame, guilt. When all those things come up, that's an opportunity to tend to those wounds, because anything that is triggering us is an unhealed wound. Anything that is triggering us is an unhealed wound. So that could even mean you have an interaction with someone and they say a certain phrase and it just sets you off. Or even just like an argument with someone and they tell you that they don't like you and they think you're ugly. If that is setting you off and triggering you, that's something that is talked about in the 4 Agreements. Don't take anything personally, good or bad. Like, really, honestly, you guys, this book, the 4 Agreements, helps so much, especially in the periods of like isolation, self-doubt, shame, guilt, just feeling super alone. Like, that book is a game changer. So if you haven't read it, read it. If you've read it before, read it again. I would also recommend, there are going to be times where you just need the isolation, the hermit mode. Like, there's going to be a tower moment. Usually this is how it goes. There's a tower moment and then you go into hermit mode. And that is so that you can process through all of the strong feelings and emotions and sift through the things in your life that no longer serve you. Because when you're catapulting into the next chapter of your life on your spiritual journey, there are going to be things that you need to leave behind. And the hermit mode is where you really get to figure that out. The isolation period is where you really get to figure out what is in alignment with you and your highest vibration. And gratitude, 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 gratitude. And that's why I say, like Abraham Hicks, there's this video that I've posted.
Oh, people are going to say, what have you done? It's like all that stuff was lined up outside your door. How'd you get the door open? Avalanches of things you've been wanting just begin coming into your experience. You say, well, I just stopped worrying about it not happening and it started happening. I just started playing the positive what-if game instead of the negative what-if game. I just started feeling more optimistic and not so pessimistic. I praised more and criticized less. I stopped beating up on myself and loved myself more. I looked for reasons to feel good. I breathed deeply and I took walks and I said, thank you for this planet. Thank you for this earth. Thank you for my body. Thank you for my fingers. Thank you for this stomach. Thank you for this digestive system. Thank you for this oxygen that I'm breathing. Thank you for this light. Thank you for, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just got in this mindset of appreciation of all of the magnificent things that are working for me. And when I activated that, then everything started working for me.
So that one is such a simple sounding message, but it's so true. And they say gratitude attracts miracles. Gratitude attracts abundance. And that is because, again, what you put out is what you get back. And if you are putting out, you know, my life is so hard. Oh, I hate this. Oh, I want this to be over. Oh, I just wish I could take these glasses off. Things are going to be hard because you're putting that out there. Now, shift the perspective. It doesn't mean shove these feelings down. It means shift the perspective and say, like, when you can catch yourself with the negative thought patterns and say, all right, this is a really hard time right now. I'm going to allow myself the space to feel these feelings that are coming up and feel the feelings and let them go. And shift this perspective to, I am grateful that I get to feel these feelings, feel these emotions, work through this trauma, whatever it may be that's coming up. I'm grateful to have this experience. And if you don't feel like you can be grateful for those things quite yet, try to focus on things around you that you can be grateful for. I'm grateful I have this roof over my head. I am grateful that I have clean drinking water. I'm grateful that I have clean clothes I can put on my back every day when I wake up. I'm grateful for my cat or my dog. You know, there are always things you can be grateful for, and that is putting out an energetic frequency that is in alignment with abundance. If you're putting out, God, my life is so hard. I feel like I'm living in hell. I just want this to end. Oh my God, everyone's so mean. Blah, 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 blah. When you put that out, you attract that back because you're saying that that's in your life. And that's all stuff from the past. I also would recommend Joe Dispenza. He has a video on here. I don't know if I can put it in my description, but I'll put it in the comments. And he says in there, by the time we're 35, 90 or 95% of what we think and do are habits that we have picked up. So we are doing things unconsciously. And that is where you can start to work on shifting the perspective. Like when you catch yourself thinking the negative thoughts, it doesn't mean shove them down and be like, oh, everything's great. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Okay. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. God, this is really hard, you know, journal it out. This is why shadow work is huge. Shadow work is so important so that you can really feel the feelings that are coming up and release them. If you're not familiar with what shadow work is, I would look into that. Basically, shadow work is just addressing the shadow side because we all have a yin and a yang. And as I've said before, if anyone tells you the spiritual journey is all just blissful and rainbows and butterflies, it's not. It is hard. And anyone telling you it's not hard is not doing the work. So do the work, focus on yourself, listen to your intuition, and if your body is reactive to something and it's making you uncomfortable, you'll know that's somewhere where, hey, I need to tune in. What is out of balance here? How can I get back into the yin yang? Also, remember, healing is not linear. So if you feel like, why did this come back up again? It's completely normal. It's okay. Give yourself grace. Give yourself comfort the way you would comfort a friend. And along this journey, you will start to connect with your soul fam. And your soul family, if you don't know what that is, here's a brief description here. But your soul family will come, just like your divine partner. Some call it a twin flame. I don't believe in what the definition of a twin flame is commonly talked about because I don't believe our souls are split in half, but that's time for another video. But that's how you attract the love that you want, the experiences that you want in your life, is you are also putting that energy out. Remember, you're not alone. There's so many of us out there. And if you go to that TikTok video that I made, look at how many people are in there feeling the same way. Maybe like everyone follow each other and start, you know, connecting. I had made a Discord in the past. Maybe I'll start sharing that again. And it can really just be a place where everyone opens up about how they're feeling, what they're going through in their journey. So, yeah, I hope that all was helpful. When you are struggling, don't beat yourself up. I started my awakening years ago, but it really catapulted in like the end of 2017, start of 2018. And I went through what I call my first awakening, but really, my friend explained it well. She said it's like chapters, but I feel like it's a mixture of both, or it could be both. It could be considered both. You are going to go through multiple evolutionary shifts in this experience, and the universe, our higher self, the creator, whatever you believe in, God, does not give us any more than we can handle. I'm also going to recommend this movie, which is on Gaia.com. Make sure to look for, I'm going to link it below as well. I think I can link that one in the caption. That's a really good one. It's an older movie, so it's a little cheesy at times in the reenactment parts, but the message is so helpful. But yeah, just remember that this human experience is just that. It's an experience. I think Dolores Cannon might have said coming to Earth is like a school, and it helps us evolve as spiritual beings. And there is a literal wait list. There is a wait list to get to Earth right now because of how much of an evolution is happening in the collective. Like, think about how many people are waking up, yourself included. This is the biggest spiritual awakening I think that has ever happened, to my knowledge, at least, if not one of the biggest ones in this timeline. So you're not alone. You're doing fine. And it's not a race. Just remember that. That was the biggest thing for me. I felt like I needed to meditate every day, do yoga every day, eat perfectly every day. And I feel like at the start of your spiritual journey, that is really common. And that is what I did. But I got to a point where I gave myself more grace. And I was like, you know what? I want to veg out on some snacks today and ice cream and cookies and just lay in bed. That is also doing something because you're listening to your body. So I hope that helps. If you have any more questions or you want me to do a follow-up video, let me know in the comments. I hope this was helpful for you all. And I'm sending you all so much love. Bye.